I mean, if our sponsor is correct and he's no longer
まあ
regenerating,
大丈夫だよ。
then that's a deficit that he has from Unlimited Blade Works, Shiro. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with another episode of Fate's Day Night Heaven's Feel. I say episode, these are movies. These are just straight up movies. So we're back with the third and final movie. Straight up, I don't know, I'm saying straight up so many times now. It's like a catchphrase now. Uh, just in front of everything, I want to apologize ahead of time. I am still ill, and it may affect my ability to get things done, but nonetheless, we're here to do things, so I just want to say that ahead of time. Also, ignore the face. I know the channel is called Stoneface Reactions. This headset is all messed up, and for some reason it messes with my TMJ, so I may make faces kind of like this, where I'm just grimacing to the side because the headset fucks me up, so just putting that up in front of everything else. That said, though, we do come back as we normally do with notes, comments, and a board. So let's go ahead and look at that board first thing. And as always, we're hosting the board on our own website now, so that will be linked down below. But I do come back with a board changelog. I connected Ryder to Shiro with a white line. I changed the green line between Shinji and Sakura to a blue line and a red line. I connected Ryder and Archer with a red line. I connected Sakura to Ryder with a green line. I connected Kirei to Sakura with a green line. I connected Ilya to Shiro with a green line. I connected Ilya to Zoken with a red line. I connected Assassin to Archer with a red line. I marked Berserker as dead. I marked Archer as dead. I connected Ilya to Rin and Sakura with a green line. And finally, I changed Gilgamesh's connection to Sakura from white to red, and then I marked Gilgamesh as dead. So yeah, that is the board. So on to notes. I still find it an oddity that Ilya calls Shiro Mr. in the sub, but in the dub she always calls him Big Brother. I only find it an oddity because they have her saying Big Brother constantly in the dub, versus the sub where it's either Mr. or nothing. And then the dub fills that nothing with Big Brother as well. It's similar to a situation that I commented about, I would say somewhat recently, in Gundam Zeta, where the word Girl Scout gets added in the dub to replace something else in the sub. Actually, it doesn't replace anything in the sub, it's just added. They just added Girl Scout for some reason. I guess in none of the timelines does Ilya talk about Kiritsugu with Shiro, except for this one, apparently. It hasn't happened in Fate's Day Night yet for us, and she didn't get a chance in Unlimited Blade Works. The whole thing I said before about the difference in calling him Big Brother and Mister also comes across differently without that context. But I expect that in Japanese she's still giving off a familial impression with whatever she's saying. Otherwise, the dub version wouldn't make much sense side by side. Either way, there should be enough there for Shiro to determine what their relationship must be, given how she refers to him, even with her hang up over her perception of her father abandoning her, and thus not wanting to talk about him. I suppose it is an irony that the book Shiro chooses to defend himself with in the library was Society and Developmental Psychology, especially given the cover art and how it seems to reflect on Sakura and everything going on with her. It's interesting, as it's the first time I believe we've seen such a thing in any Fate series. Well, I guess excepting for the fact that it's likely been going on in the other Fate Stay Night series without us knowing yet. The element of sharing a command seal in order to make a servant obey a second master. I think this would have to be a niche case, as I can't really think of any other scenarios where this would be useful. So Sakura lost control because Shinji splashed her with a potion that sent her senses into overdrive. Otherwise, it seems to be implied that she won't lose control of her magic normally, and that the threat now is just that the crest worms will kill her over time, not that her magic will go out of control because of them. More than that, if there is any threat to her magic going wild, it still seems to stem from Shinji. Should he hit her with more potion again, leading one to consider killing Shinji to just be the correct path once again. And when regarding Sakura in this aspect, I mean the element of her magic going out of control, not the whole shadow thing. Those seem to be two separate concerns when it comes to Sakura. I had almost forgotten that Lancer had been killed in movie 1. Otherwise, Kirei using his command seals to heal Sakura gave me pause to try and figure out what he was up to. We still have the scene where Sakura talks to Gilgamesh to go over, especially for what it would mean in this world. If Kirei sacrifices his seals because Lancer isn't in the game anymore, then that would be leaning on Gilgamesh's ambition more so in this path than in the previous ones. In which case, Gilgamesh might have a plan that doesn't require Kirei to be a master and have seals. Ryder considers Kirei a threat still though, and Sakura agrees, though she thinks she can take him regardless, which is interesting considering the combat skills we've seen Kirei possess in the past. And obviously I should note that I've written these out in the order that I've been watching, so if I regard the element of, she thinks she can take Kirei pretty easily, that's because she hasn't been doing the shadow stuff, or hasn't been immediately revealed to us that she is that shadow thing yet, vis-a-vis my notes. In regards to the crest worms, we already saw how horrible they could be with Kira back in Fate Zero, so this isn't new territory. Only the element of how extensively they've been set upon Sakura throughout her entire life. As opposed to the short power burst Kira was given for his goals. Now, all those questions I had from Fate Zero through Unlimited Blade Works has finally been answered with what is up with Sakura. I think her mental state is just now fully revealed. The oddity of having a scene where Sakura almost basically asks if Shiro wants to have sex with her, only to then pivot into a sexualized scene of her sucking the blood from his finger instead. It was just odd to me. But then again, they do just fucking have sex later on in the movie, so I guess it's not much of a note. I know this is a dark, controlled version of Saber and all, but I guess it also shows what a fully powered Saber that is willing to go all out can do. In the other Fate Stay Nights, we've seen Saber restrained by insufficient mana that Shiro could provide. And I guess in Fate Zero, she was either holding back or Kiritsugu just didn't have the mana equivalent to supply. Either way, this fight between Saber and Berserker was her at her strongest that we've ever seen. Well, that's 2 stories now where someone's gotten slashed across the eyes. Knowing, as we do, that Archer is a grown-ass servant version of Shiro, that arm should not fit him. He should be walking around with one normal arm and one adult arm oversized for him. Thankfully, they also went with the whole wrap thing, because Archer was tanned as fuck, so no chance it would line up skin tone-wise either. I think the only thing I probably don't have an argument for is that how they attached it. Considering we know Shiro has the sheath inside of him, granting him regeneration, I guess his body just recognized the alternative version of his arm and regenerated to it. It's funny how many people were watching Shiro fail at doing high jumps that formed the path of their destinies, it seemed. So Unlimited Blade Works Shiro had a brief shortcut pushed into him by Archer, healing his magical circuits, and then went on to fight him to the death, to be forced into unleashing his magical circuits to be able to uncover his latent ability that would eventually turn him into Archer. Whereas Heavens feel Shiro, rather than getting that shortcut of a magical circuit regeneration, instead just gets Archer's whole ass arm to unlock his magical circuits directly with, as soon as he can withstand it anyways. Why would Archer's arm have knowledge of the Ainsburns? Does it have to do with the creation of the whole Grail War itself, that servants inherently know about the 3 families due to that relationship? I don't know who Kishchur Zelrich is. Only person coming to mind is the old man I think we've seen twice now, across 2 shows, at the Ainsburn Mansion. At the same time, could be the original Einsburn who set up with the other two families to start the whole Grail business. So the murder victim in the news this whole time were all Sakura on late night sleepwalking, or her other mental half, however you want to look at it, getting what she needs to survive. Also, offhand, I'd say that Gilgamesh would survive a lot more of these encounters if he were any better at hitting the center mass of his targets. But he seems fully content to wing everyone he targets. And in the end, it never works out for him. Though in this case, no telling if he had chopped Sakura to bits if she still wouldn't have reformed in her other form to chomp him from the shadows anyways. To Gilgamesh's benefit, though, she still never made him kneel. And according to Rin, Gilgamesh killed her before she put herself back together. It's kind of a tie. I keep saying it, Taiga is just the best. Even with her surprise appearance out of nowhere, she tells everyone exactly what they need to hear. Not based on information she shouldn't have, but stuff that makes sense for her to know. And she tells it to just the right people that need to hear it. Or in this case, says it out loud to the person sneaking around to hear what they finally needed to hear. Just the perfect character for this show that gets mistreated all too often. So, the shadow is Sakura, that's clear. But Zoken also says it's the contents of the Holy Grail, which just boggles my mind. We have Ilia, which is the new Grail to be, and Unlimited Blade Works. We saw the last Grail go to her. So is the implication that in this timeline, the Grail went to Sakura and had inhabited her instead? Like, I understand that when he's saying the contents of the Grail, that he means, like, the whole or whatever, given the visions that we see later that Shiro is just, like, imagining. That's what's going on, but I just don't know. Again, the element that seems to be something like in the background of the background. I don't know. If Shiro really is going to kill Sakura, then I guess this really is just the bad ending. I mean, she really doesn't seem to have any good ending though. I don't know how Fate Stay Night itself ends yet, as we aren't done watching it. She just vanishes in Unlimited Blade Works, so can't count that as a happy ending, as it's fate unknown. So stands to be seen if this will end up as her happy ending or worse ending. I can't foresee it being the happy ending though, considering how many people and animals she's already killed so far. And of course it'd be Shinji to cause everything to come crashing down. At the same time, we also find out about his horrible rapist backstory, making him in the top 3 of worst characters in the entire series so far. I keep saying that no one should ever let Shinji just walk away from the horrible shit he does, but they keep letting him. And this is what comes of it. Shinji just makes me sick. But everyone's willingness to let him go and keep doing shit makes me just as sick. Alright, well, I also said we had some comments, so let's hop into those comments. First up, we got Azope. Glad to see you back, even if not your current AU, aka it was made before your illness. Right, because I recorded the movie reaction before I got sick. Or before I spent a week in the hospital. So, yeah, I understand. I think everybody thinks the same about Shinji. My personal theory is that his changed attitude with Shiro is the reflect of his relation with Sakura. Either he become corrupt by abusing Sakura and so hate Shiro, or the more he becomes corrupt, the more he abused Sakura and Shiro. I don't know. The element that a bunch of this is hidden in the background of stuff that's not being shown in Unlimited Blade Works. Again, as I said before, Sakura just vanishes in Unlimited Blade Works. So, and the way that he acts towards Shiro is different from the abuse that he levels at Sakura. I would say that there's no real abuse that he levels at Shiro. He's manipulative and he takes advantage of Shiro's personality. But what he does to Sakura is abuse. Also, I think now you watching the movie, I will say again my comment, and this time no skip it because you already watched most of Heaven's Feel, so you cannot use it not to read it. I can. Look, Azope, you telling me not to skip a thing because I can't, because I've already watched? That's giving me more reason to skip it. Also, if you don't skip Pear, you should also not skip my comment. Azope, you're giving me all the more reasons just to skip your comment. Don't tell me not to skip stuff or to skip stuff. I will make my own decisions. Also, you have to, since you say do not skip people you pay for the series. Don't use my words against me, Azope. You're lucky if I keep reading. I also agree that the author is dead. What is my personal theory for how Fate work? How Fate work, as far as I understand, Fate is a sub-multiverse inside the Naruverse that take all the game and stuff from the author Naru that happen in a big multiverse. I mean, that's, I think, basically what we all agree on. Fate Stay Night is a sub-multiverse inside Fate where the Fourth Holy War happened. In this multiverse, you have a lot, probably an infinite of possibility. The game focus on 3+1 route. Each route is a group of similar way thing could go. Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Work, Heavenfeel, and Last Hero of Justice. Since you have watched second movie, I will add the end of my comment. Each route have multiple ending. Most of the ending are bad ending. Bad ending in the game are followed by a dojo tiger scene with Taiga and Illusvale explain to the player how to avoid it, and some normal ending. Well, I mean, we already talked about that in the oh god, what was it called? It was a Irisvale Cafe or something. The extras thing that we watched. It was like the prologue to the dojo. Good true ending or main ending. True ending was considered the true ending of the route, seeing it like a point of equilibrium of the route. Stay Night have one good ending. Unlimited Blade have a good ending, this one, and a true ending one in the series. Heavensfield have 3 ending, a good one, a true bad ending, aka Hero of Justice, and a true ending that's probably the true ending of Stay Night as a whole. I have 2 ideas from where Archer could come from. The first is the same idea as you about Archer. I think Archer from Stay Night come from a fail route, Archer from Unlimited Blade Work from Stay Night, and Archer of Heavensfield come from Unlimited Blade Work. Obviously, I can't speak to that because I've not done Heavensfield yet. Well, I mean, I guess maybe. Archer is dead. But then again, it's where Shiro goes. So again, I guess until I'm done, I can't talk about that. My alternative way of thinking is they all come from the true bad ending of the game, Hero of Justice, a ending of Heavensfield. I don't know. Again, if my problem now is that I think when I skimmed your comment, I didn't know what Hero of Justice was. And now I don't want to read the Hero of Justice bits because you're saying it's based on the ending of Heavensfield. And I'm literally about to watch the final movie, so I don't want to hear about this thing. Again, you gotta hold that comment off to the end. You ask 2 movie why Medea lost against True Assassin. First, she chose to invoke Assassin in the start because he is the most stealthy servant, so the one that could most easily escape her view. And next, the reply is an Unlimited Blade Work. You already watch it, so you could guess why. Just ask yourself one question. What is the power of Rule Breaker? The weapon she used on herself. Try to guess, and after that... sorry, let me reread this so I can make a guess before I actually read your answer. You asked in 2 movie why Medea lost against a True Assassin. First, she chose to invoke Assassin to start. Stealthy servants, so those can escape her view. You already launched it. Ask yourself one question. What is the power of Rule Breaker? Power of Rule Breaker is to break the rules. I mean, it's in the name. I mean, I guess I just don't understand the question to be able to even make a guess. The reply, it broken any magical contract link, so by use on herself, she broke both her link to her master and the link to her temple. Okay. I mean, okay. Sorry. Reading the answer makes more sense than me trying to guess what the answer would be. I guess, yeah, okay. I guess that explains the whole she should be invincible here in the temple and why she lost. Fair enough. I'll give you that one. Next up, we have Master Detective. Are we implying those are Rin's memories and Sakura wasn't there? No, the reason she says don't take my memories too is because Rin's already taken her family from her, from a perspective, so she's like, don't take my mans as well. Alright, fair enough. I mean, I got that in the second viewing. I'll be honest, when I put your comment here, I'm like, what the fuck are we even talking about? I did not even remember. Thankfully, again, I rewatch everything to take my notes. So in the rewatch to take my notes, I'm like, oh, that's what you were talking about. And yeah, I got that too, especially because when she's like drooping back against the wall, and then she says, "Don't take my memories too." It's just an element though that I just kind of get. Why was everyone watching this one kid fail at high jumps that day? You know, I'm just expecting that when me and Lessons watch Fate's Day Night, there's going to be a third person watching high jumps. Issei is going to be there. Like, that's when I thought he would be my best friend. All right, next up, we got Savaris. Some of the problems with the movies are just normal problems any adaptation has, where the director and the fans have a different view on what is important and what can be cut or shortened. But a lot of the adaptation's problems can't be blamed on screen time or the movie format, since someone went out of their way to do things that didn't save screen time, but made changes to the characterization. Movie 3 has some changes and cutting to iconic/fan favorite scenes that are almost heinous when fans see the scenes that were decided to be allowed to linger for an extra 30 seconds that could be used for something more important. Then there are just the changes where a character moment gets turned into yet another action scene sandwiched between the already existing action scenes. I guess my problem here is, as I said before with like Zope's comment, I haven't seen it yet. Also, I'm not familiar with the original work, right? It's like being a manga reader who then watches the anime and is the one that makes the comments, you know, oh, I can't believe that they cut this thing, which was my favorite thing from the manga, and instead had a double-length action fight scene, which, you know, kind of seems like what you're referencing, except you're referencing a game. I'm making the example of a manga. Haven't seen it yet, and I'm not familiar with the original source, which, you know, kind of makes me the best person to watch it. I always say that I am more of a fan of the Marvel movies than I am the DC ones. I say that because I'm a DC fan. I can see where the DC movies are fucking shit up because I'm a DC fan. I don't know shit about the Marvel universe. So the Marvel movies are just more enjoyable for me because I don't know anything. Well, same thing here, right? I can enjoy, I don't know, I might have the same complaints you guys have, but it's more probable that I will enjoy movie 3 because I don't know what they're fucking up. For me, everything is just what it is. And we have next Fenrir756, the sponsor of all of this. So once again, thank you to Fenrir. Hi Theta, I hope you're feeling better after going to the hospital and that you aren't pushing yourself too hard. I know this comment may be late, and I might have a separate comment to read after the third movie. I'm going to have to try and remember 2 hours later into this whole recording that you did actually post a comment for after the movie, which is to say, like, oh, I looked at the opening of, you know, read after the movie. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I haven't even watched the movie yet. But then again, you don't know when I've recorded a thing. I have to acknowledge that. From your perspective, it's just in the ether. Have I recorded it yet or not? And you want to get your thing out there as soon as possible. I gotta respect the hustle. Just know that I hadn't yet recorded anything. Unfortunately, I did spend a week recovering from the hospital thing. I've been doing a whole routine of trying to get back. I don't want to say back in action, but back to health. I am in a state right now where I have to really work on my health. Otherwise, I don't know how to finish that sentence. Anyway, continuing the comment. Fate Prototype was the original conception for Fate Prototype was the original conception for ultimately become Fate's Day Night. Fun fact about that is the main character was Ayaka Saiju, who you are aware of through Strange Fate. Oh, okay, yeah, the main character from that show. I didn't even think about it. You said Ayaka, and I was thinking about the captain of the archery club. I didn't even think about Strange Fate. There is an anime trailer for it that was made to acknowledge it that you might enjoy watching. I don't actually know where I even know of Fate Prototype. I know I mentioned it in the last movie, and I think that was because I was making a D&D character doing the Unlimited Blade Works build, which again I think is Paladin Warlock, and I wanted a male version of Saber as the artwork. And I think that's where I stumbled upon that there was a dark version of male Saber, and that was in Fate Prototype, I think. While I despise Shinji to the point he is one of the fictional characters I hate the most for who he is, the visual novel goes much further into his background than the movies do. It doesn't justify anything he does, but puts things into perspective. He considered himself as being special because he belonged to a mage family, and he considered all its knowledge and history his. When Sakura was first adopted, he didn't realize she was being adopted to become the successor, and discovering that did a number on his mental state. It's also why he has issues with Shiro, as he knows he can do magecraft and is both envious of him and looks down on him as being unworthy. Okay, I guess the element is I keep forgetting that Shinji was first in the family, and that Sakura was adopted afterwards. I don't fucking care. Like, that's the element there. I know you're not trying to justify it, as you are also already said. It's just the element I don't care. Nothing can justify what Shinji has done or is doing. The element is, second child, and the family loves the new baby way more than me, and she's getting everything that I was supposed to get. That's not what's happening. I'm trying to put it into like a real life terms, that you're a 5-year-old kid, and then your parents have a new baby, and it seems like they don't pay attention to you anymore, and they only pay attention to the new baby, and the new baby's getting all the toys and all the love, and you're being forgotten. Doesn't give you permission to do whatever you fuck you want to that new baby, or, anybody else around you. As I said before in my notes, Shinji is right up there with Ryunosuke and Caster, in my opinion. I know Ryunosuke killed like 1,000 kids or something like that. And, Caster has his own fucking backstory of horribleness. But Shinji is like here, present, among us. I know Ryunosuke was too. I don't know. Like I said, it's a variable top 3 worst character list for me. Ryder is much stronger when Sakura is serving as her master, and if you didn't realize it, Sakura sent her in the last movie to save Shiro. I have to realize it. Sakura said it out loud. Ryder's eyes depend on making eye contact, I believe. Sure, rules of Basilisk. Rules of a Gorgon, if you like. Because she's Medusa. That thing I said was already spoiled for me. Shiro lost the regeneration after he lost Saber. Remember on Unlimited Blade Works, it only worked after he lost his contract. It only worked after he lost his contract with her when she was close by. I don't know, though. That seems conflicting information. You're saying that Shiro lost the regeneration after he lost Saber, and then points out that his regeneration only worked after he lost his contract with her in Unlimited Blade Works. That seems like 2 separate things. Also, I would indicate that I don't think that's true because, again, Archer's arm gets attached to his body, and I think he would need the regeneration for that to work. Otherwise, that's what, they had a surgeon? Rin did a magic thing, and that was just never mentioned? I don't know. I'm leaning into the, what do you call it? Sheath. The sheath being inside of him, regenerating. Kirei has all the leftover command seals as the mediator. We don't ever really see, like, his arm covered in seals like it was in Fate Zero. Then again, he gets shot in the arm, which I think removed all those seals. At the same time, the leftover seals of who? Because we've only really lost servants. We haven't really lost masters. There've been... I don't know. I'm up in the air on that one. Heracles got his noble phantasm God Hand by accomplishing the 12 labors. Yeah, I think I just forgot what the name of the thing was. The 12 labors. If Ilya used a command seal to send Berserker away, Saber would turn her attention to them. Yeah, she does at the end anyway, and then she just walks away. I don't know that would amount to anything. Also, Archer was technically in the area, so Archer could have helped. I don't know. I just would have preferred that Berserker survived one. I don't know. I don't know what you want from me. Also, not for nothing, you can use command seals for anything you can imagine. Like I said, it's weird to me that command seals seem to be stronger than the wish that the Grail grants, because command seals don't require you to know how to do a thing. Because again, the Grail says, or the rule for the Grail is that you have to know how to do the thing that you're going to wish for, which invokes if your wish involves teleportation, you've got to know how to teleport. Well, a command seal, you can teleport somebody to you. You don't have to know how to teleport. So I don't know. Ilya has no ecchi scenes, though there was originally going to be a fourth Ilya route that was never made. I mean, you combine those two thoughts together as though they're the same thing. I don't know. I think I keep just joking about it because the show is the game is supposed to be so ecchi or whatever, that their inclusion of a little girl just kind of throws me. Shiro's ability that is tied to Unlimited Blade Works lets him see and instantly comprehend the properties of any weapon, noble phantasm he sees. That is why he instantly knew what Rule Breaker could do. Even though we've had this whole conversation that Rule Breaker is outside the spectrum of items that could be copied. The visual novel also makes it a big deal how normally it's impossible to transfuse part of a servant onto another person, and also discusses how the arm was perfectly compatible with Shiro's body, which made it possible. Well, good for the visual novel, but unfortunately this isn't the same thing that I often discuss with lessons when it comes to like Gundam. Great if the manga told us what it was, or great if it was in a book, or great if it's in a technical manual, but it's the show/movie's responsibility to explain stuff to us, the viewer, and if it doesn't do that, then it failed. So, unfortunately, this is in the realm of I'm watching the movie, I'm not playing the visual novel, so it has to do its own work. Both girls saw him do the high jump. Yeah, I know. I've joked about that across multiple shows now. My joke is that how many other people were just watching Shiro do high jumps that day. Because, it'd just be funny to me if everybody was watching him doing high jumps. Issei became his best friend because he was also just some other hill watching him do high jumps. Gilgamesh never attacks Sakura in Unlimited Blade Works because the shadow never manifests. Well, I mean, my question in Unlimited Blade Works was, we saw her talk to him, and then she just fucks off for like the rest of whatever. And it's like, the Gilgamesh Sakura connection is mostly here. So having not watched that, or having not watched this first, I mean, I didn't know what the hell was going on with Sakura and Gilgamesh. So for me, it was never Gilgamesh is going to attack Sakura in Unlimited Blade Works. And I guess my thought process was what happens at the end with Shinji was going to happen with Sakura, but then Sakura just wasn't in the show anymore. Sakura's unique magic ability gives her access to imaginary numbers space, which is kind of like a separate dimension, which is why she was able to redirect his weapons through that space. See, I remembered before that they called it an imaginary numbers thing, but like the other thing that you mentioned before, that I just 12 labors, that I just forgot when I needed to remember it. But for me, it wasn't the element that she was redirecting his weapons, which I did see when I was rewatching for my notes. I just thought she was corrupting them, because we saw the blades go through it and they become dark and everything, which is kind of what we see her doing with the servants that she captures. I thought she was just corrupting them and then spinning them back on it. For me, there was never a need for like a separate dimension that they were coming back out of. Just falls into that category of, hey, Gilgamesh has this power. Let's have a bunch of other people have like a power that's just equal to and can mess his power up. Why not? The song Ilya sings is actually in the visual novel, and it's called De Lorelei. You can look it up on YouTube. Something I probably am interested in doing and will forget to well before the fact. Hell, I mean, it only just occurred to me while I was rewatching everything and watching the preview for the next movie at the very end that it's called Spring because of Shiro's conversation with Sakura. What do you want to do after this? I want to see the Sakura flowers? The flowers in spring. And that's why the very end scene with all of the flowers on the trees and everything. and the third movie's name is Spring, It only just occurred to me that probably because I was dealing with the fucking Shinji shit at the very end of the movie, and I totally forgot about the let's see stuff in Spring bit. But, I had all this time to calm down from that, and then watch the preview, and it's like, oh, it's all the Spring stuff. I get it now. When Shiro asked if he will betray him, it's referring to the person he dedicated his life to becoming. Is it? Is it? I thought. No, I don't think that's true. Because my interpretation of will you betray him was will you betray yourself? I know it's a weird way to phrase that, but to me it meant will you betray the Shiro that you want to be, the hero of justice? Will you betray the Shiro that will become the hero of justice in order to save Sakura or protect Sakura? And yes, I will betray that me. And it's in the same way that once Shiro understands that he is Archer, or Archer is an alternative for Yusha version of him, it'd be like the same way as saying, I will betray him. I will betray the person I will become. That was my interpretation of it. I do not think that him being Kiritsugu... Wait, or is that what you're saying? It's referring to the person he dedicated his life to become. Yeah, sorry, never mind. You and me are saying the same thing. I was confused because sometimes you phrase these as though you're correcting me, and to be fair, I don't remember what the fuck I said back then. In my reread of this, I thought you were talking about Kiritsugu, that he was betraying him, referring to betraying the person that he thought Kiritsugu would want him to become. Never mind. Forget everything I just said. You and me are saying the same thing. And your final comment here. You are correct about Shinji having always done those awful things to Sakura in all routes. Yeah, it's the element of figuring out where the routes diverge, and the element of every backstory before the war starts is in canon to one another. So, Unlimited Blade works the days before the Great War starts. Everything we did with Rin, all of that stuff is canon. The, year and a half or whatever, in Heavensfield before the war starts, all of that is canon. And anything alluded to after everything starts as having happened before all of that, before the war starts, also canon. So yeah, again, my understanding of how what is canon to all routes is pretty solid when it comes to pre-war. Once the war starts, I'm kind of vague because, I don't know where the first schism is. Anyways, that is all of the comments, except for, again, the one that I have for Fenrir after we watched the movie. But then again, I had that sitting off on the edge, and that requires me to remember that it exists 2 hours later, because this is a 2-hour-long movie. So, that said, I don't think there's anything left for us to do but to hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Same intro we've gotten every other show so far. Or every other movie. Fuck him. Of course, Sakura could have just, flickered away to anywhere else in the city. Literally piss on the corpse. I don't give a shit. An angel. Yeah, you said that last movie.
保険だと。
人の形を保った半端な覚醒だが、こやつを初めて褒めてやってもいいかもしれんの。
Yeah, even Zoken recognizes that his son is shit.
さくらはど
His
こだ？
adopted son and whatever.
ねえ、お姉ちゃんってどんな感じ？
I've said it before. Ilya is the one that I want to win. Sakura is the one that I want to have a good ending. I'm thinking Ilya is about to fucking die.
兄を殺したあれはもはや立ち止まることなどできん。アインツベルンの聖杯が取り込んだアーチャーの玉。
Here's hoping Ilya has as much magical power as she did in Unlimited Blade Works. At least at the opening. Certainly she didn't have it during the fight. Literally, we had to come in here with like a firebomb or something.
はい、おじいさま。
Even if she was as strong of mage as she was at the opening on Unlimited Blade Works, I still don't think Ilya stands a chance here. I want her to, though. I don't want Ilya to die again. It's gonna be Rin.
姉さんはうちにいたんですね。
まあね、私はシローと違ってあんたを助ける理由がないもの。いよいよとなったらイリアをさらいに来るのは明白でしょ。
Kidnap, not kill. That's interesting.
姉さん。
Because she's the Grail, obviously.
そんなに悪い子ですか？
当たり前じゃない。あんたはマトウサクラを守りたがってたやつを最後まで信じてやらなかったんだから。
そうですね。確かに今まではそうでした。けど私、もう弱くなんてありません。
I mean, it's obviously the other personality that she was talking to in the mirror in movie 2.
私の方が強いもの。ダメですよ。そんな魔術を使ったら家が壊れちゃうじゃないですか。
I'm surprised she didn't just outright kill her.
美味しい。
Oh, maybe she did. I can't tell.
でも、それだけじゃダメだ。姉さんは立ち上がる。だって姉さんはヒーローだから。
Again, Ilya is stronger than Rin. Oh yeah, let's rile up that jealousy. Oh, okay, I thought that was blood covering her, not the darkness.
なんで何も言わないんですか？ なんで叱らないんですか。兄さんがどうなったのか見てきたのに。
違う、それは造剣が仕組んで。
違いません。見てください、先輩。私、最初から狂ってたんです。
I mean, you did say okay, grandfather, before you started into this.
私といると苦しいでしょ。だから私、先輩の前から消えないといけなかった。けどできないんです。私にとって嬉しいことは先輩だけだから。先輩は私から離れられない。これ以上自分を裏切ることができないから。
Tears? Tears and sweat?
だから殺してあげます。苦しまないように、ずっとそばにいられるように。
I keep thinking Ilya is about to do something. Because Ilya is a better mage than anybody else around here.
悪い子ね、ライダー。
さくら、そちらに行ってはいけない。そこには何もない。ただ暗く一人になるだけです。私はあなたをそうしないためにここに。
You know, I thought she was just gonna corrupt Ryder. Like she had Saber.
さくら。
貴公の役目はここまでだ。
Well, this is all very disappointing.
あなたを取り込みます。
Oh, never mind. She's doing the thing that I thought she was gonna
これ
do.
以上はいらないけど、特別にセーバーと同じにしてあげる。そこまでよ、さくら。
Again, this is like 1,000 times more Ryder than we've ever gotten in anything else.
正気ですか？殺されても構わないってことですよ。抵抗しても無駄でしょ。ここではさくらが一番強いんだし。私が一番。最後の鍵はここにはないわ。さくらが後継者として門を開きたいのなら、私の城まで取りに行かないと。いいでしょう。あなたの口車に乗ってあげます。
I mean, I don't think there's anything actually at the castle that would work as a trap. I mean, we're gonna get the two maids killed, obviously.
もう私の前に来ないでください。次は殺すしかなくなります。じゃあね。今まで楽しかったよ、お兄ちゃん。
I guess this is like when Superman or Goku say, hey, let's go somewhere else to have our fight, so we don't destroy everything. That Ilya's like, hey, let's just go to my castle, because that's where the thing is. So we can have a fight there.
その結果が彼女の死であったとしても、それで的さくらは救われる。最後の忠告だ。それでも追ってくるというのなら、その時こそその首を叩き落とす。
It seems like there's a bit of actual saber in there, but maybe not. I mean, it's classic anime.
勝敗はすでに決した。
I think even Naruto stabbed himself in the leg to get confidence again. Oh, that's right. Kirei's alive
そ
still.
んなものは唐の昔についていた。歪んだ聖杯戦争。本来一つである聖杯。だが二つ目の聖杯がここにはあった。
I mean, Gilgamesh says that in the Unlimited Blade Works. Little Grail, Big Grail.
その中身とだが、器がふさわしくなければ、ただの増殖する肉塊になっていただろう。舞台は整った。答えを生み出せる。
This feels like a, we call it Dead Pictures anthology, where the beginning is like the shadows showing you everything that's going to happen. In this case, it's what has happened.
私も舞台に上がるとしよう。
I think you're gonna be well out of your margin here now, Kirei.
琴峰、遠坂を頼む。
I'm gonna guess for some reason Rin's not going to be corrupted by the shadow that she's been put in. And Spring Song, an allusion to after war.
I
mean, you just saw him shoot up out of bed. Clearly he can move his body.
お前よりもひどく衰弱していたからな。遠坂の庭に埋めてきた。
は？埋め。
明日の朝には減らず口を取り戻すだろう。
I was assuming he was joking, but
世話になった。もう行かないと。
どこへ向かうつもりだ？
イリアが俺たちをかばって。 さくらに同行した。だから。
的をさくらは敵に回った。ということだな。
I mean, she's clearly his enemy, even if he's not hers.
ついてこい。的を造剣の目的は。 空になった的を桜に乗り移ることだろう。ゆえにイリアスフィールを取り戻し、的を桜が空になる前に的を造剣を倒す。ここまではお前とは。
So what? Killing Sakura would leave the imaginary numbers husk to be possessed by. I don't know how that works.
協力すると。
I mean, I think Kirei is out of his league here. He isn't a great hand-to-hand martial artist. But the fight is against literally people who are the best at anti-hand-to-hand combat. Zoken can disassemble himself. Sakura can just control shadows.
おととい夜、冬木市で発生した行方不明事件について、被害者の人数や原因は依然として現在捜査中となっています。また、同時刻に信徒の駅前一帯で数時間にわたる大規模な停電が起き、
あの男ならこうなる前に的を桜を殺していた。
I mean, how do you combine all the missing persons case with... Oh, by the way, all the fish in a fish store died simultaneously as well.
人間らしい感情を切り捨てた男だった。エミやキリツグの生き方は私には不快だった。奴は初めからあったものを切り捨て。
I guess they didn't have that reveal here in this movie series like they did in Unlimited Blade Works, that he was a part of the last war.
その違いこそ決定的だった。切り捨てるなら初めから持たねばよい。だというのに奴は持ち続けた。
I'm saying that because Shiro isn't like giving any response here, like, what do you mean you were part of the war?
まったく幸せな男だよ。
See, that's what he reacts to, not, oh, you fought my dad 10 years ago in the Lara War, where everything around me exploded and died?
お前たちが幸福と呼ぶものでは私に喜びを与えなかった。それだけの話だ。
I mean, I would also again argue against the Hiratsugu was a happy man. Maybe in the last 5 years of his life? Certainly not before that.
人は死ぬものだ。死にゆくものが彼女だけならば、私もあそこまで手を尽くさなかった。私は的を桜の中にある闇の誕生を祝福する。
Whatever the fuck that means.
あれは人を殺すものだぞ。
しかしまだ生まれてはいない。生まれた後であれば罪も罰も与えられるべきだろうが、生まれるなとは言えまい。それとも犯罪者の息子は生まれる前から犯罪者だと。
And if you were, you'd have some damning words for Kiritsugu. Also, I don't think we've ever seen the road path to that castle before.
的桜、彼女がすでに人食いであることに変わりはない。それでもお前は擁護するというのか。
So no answer. This is a long-ass conversation Kira is having with him that he's like given 4 words of response to.
殺してやった方が幸せなのではないか。奪われた者たちへの贖罪にもなる。
Would not be surprised if he had that kitchen knife with him.
そうか。エミや切り継ぐの後は継がないということだな。
That is a long-ass way away from where you're standing. What the... I say what the because that was the combat area on the roof where Gilgamesh showed up in Unlimited Blade Works. There's no reason for that damage to be done to the roof here. Again, the maids are most certainly dead.
基本骨子解明構成材質解明
I was just telling you anything about the people inside.
3階の左端の部屋
You mean the lights are on? Shiro, this was useless.
桜
そこまでだ。優先順位を間違えるな。
分かってる。
では、エミヤシロ。登山の経験はあるかね。
Oh, how are they still alive? I would have figured Sakura would have killed them immediately.
本当にあの者たちのために清掃を準備するのですか？
忘れたの。私たちの役目は聖杯を完成させること。ふさわしい器なら私でなくとも構わない。
I guess they get a better fate here than they did when Gilgamesh attacked. Remember, Castor called her too perfect. But yet, after the fight with Rin that she has in Unlimited Blade Works, she just gets like nothing. By the way, that's what bouldering meant? I did not know. I thought he meant like rock climbing.
何ですかあなたたちは。くせ者。
ああ、いや、違う。俺たちは。
シロ。
イリア。
なんで来たの？帰りなさい。
I mean, literally, I sacrificed myself so you guys could survive.
さくらのことは私に任せればいい。これは私の役目なんだから。
I mean, oddly, this is the longest she survived across any of the shows. Except for Base Day Night, which we're not done yet, so of course.
どうでもいい。イリアの役割なんて知らない。イリアがどんなに強がって、どんなに平気なふりをしても、騙されてなんかやらないからな。
強がってるって何よ。私は聖杯だから。
それを強がってるって言うんだ、バカ。イリアはイリアだ。自分以外の何かのために自分を犠牲にするな。
自分を棚にあげて。
I mean, realistically, I would expect we're all gonna die here.
こんなのうまくいくはずないの。
What did I just say? There's a reason Ilya is in my, like, top 2... top 3?
ちょっと、こら、話しなさい。
あ、でも。
ここは我らの城です。ご心配なく。
イリアをよろしく。
I mean, they're definitely going to die. I expect that they're going to die in all 3 incarnations of the show.
あの高さから魔術もなしに落下とは恐れ入る。やけかね。
悪いか。できると思ったんだよ。
I mean, I've made jumps like that before, thinking I could do them. I think usually I land on my back and knock the wind out of myself.
来てくれたんですね、先輩。
Oh, I'm calling out Saber again. Called that wrong. Thought it was Saber. It was Berserker. Yeah, because it's a fucking Terminator. Always gotta remember that Ilya considers Berserker to be like a father figure, too. I don't know if that speech that Taiga gave is going to change any of that. It's funny because that's how a scene from the extras got taken out.
Ta da no ningyou de wa nai toyu koto ka. 連れて行け。エミよ、助けた者が女ならば殺すな。目の前で死なれるのはなかなかに応えるぞ。
Mega no doubt Akira is gonna die here again. This is probably his best match. I just don't think he's taking out Assassin.
白き聖杯は逃がさぬ。私にも叶えたい願いがあるのでな。
Oh, it's like the sinewy framework of Berserker.
シロ、私を置いて逃げて。
できるわけ。
I mean, we saw before you couldn't take on Berserker. Although that was a slash to the back. His dad? Oh. For some reason I thought it was going to be his dad for some reason.
こちらに来てくれたか。
幕じゃな。慈悲をくれてやるがよい。アサシン。
今思い出すことではないが、自分は生まれながらに欠陥している。私にとって幸福とは苦しみであり、絶望こそが喜びだ。
Yeah, I don't think there's any world where Kirei gets the answer to his question either.
その方は生き物として悪しきものだと理解していた。ひどい欠陥だ。外道であっても良識が備わっていたのだ。私は正したいと願い努力をした。その最後の試みに一人の女を愛した。正確にはそうできたらいいと願って。
Surprised he didn't have the claws still. The ones he had in Fate Zero.
その結果、私にはお前を愛せなかった。
いいえ、あなたは私を愛しています。
We didn't even get to see her in Fate Zero. This is the first time I've ever seen his family.
Hogan.
終わったな。
貴様、まさか。
But out of his own heart? Has no heart? I don't know what the implication there was. Oh, because of what happened to the last Grill War. Maybe he's like a walking zombie or something?
告げる。私が殺す。私が生かす。私が傷つけ、私が癒す。我が手を逃れうる者は一人もいない。我が目の届かぬ者は一人もいない。打ち砕かれよ。敗れた者、老いた者を私が招く。私に委ね。
I guess this counts as an area of effect attack.
休息を、歌を忘れず、祈りを忘れず、私を忘れず。私は軽く、あらゆる重みを忘れさせる。
そうか、わしを殺すか。
休息は私の手に。あなたの罪に油を注ぎ印を記そう。永遠の命は。
It's kind of an irony that it seems like he's invoking a holy power, considering everything else.
それで何が変わる？貴様に救いなどないぞ。
キリエ・レイソン。
Well, there we go. That was the solution to Zoken. Area of effect attack. Kind of assumed that Assassin would be gone, because Zoken was... I guess Zoken wasn't technically his master? They were just allied? Again, that doesn't look like him dying.
Hora, あなた、泣いているもの。
それは勘違いだ。確かに悲しいと思った。だがそれは女の死がではない。どうせ死ぬのなら、私の手で殺したかった。
I guess he took his own heart out, which is what they were implying there. Which I guess is kind of just like what Gilgamesh did to Ilya in Unlimited Blade Works. I guess they both had that power.
大丈夫か、イリア。
シロ、逃げて。バーサーカーは私を探してる。シロ。
兄貴は妹を助けるもんだ。
でも
いいんだよ。一度でもお兄ちゃんなんて呼ばれたら兄貴なんだ。たとえ血がつながってなくても。
See, as much as y'all can seem to complain that these movies cut out like a bunch of stuff, the problem is I just don't know all that stuff. So for me, this seems like a lot of added back and forth between these characters that we just don't get across the other shows.
死なないために使うんだ。
どうしてシローがそこまでしなくちゃいけないの。シローは何も悪いことをしていないのに。
Stuff that I would expect Rin to yell at him if this is on Unlimited Blade Works.
いや、悪いことなんてたくさんしてきた。でもありがとう。この腕を使ったらどうなるかわからない。さくらを守ると誓ったことも、イリアを連れ戻すと決めたことも、他のすべても思い出せなくなるかもしれない。
I don't know that Archer could have taken on Berserker.
必要だからこの腕を俺に。
So pseudo Archer in Shiro taking on pseudo Berserker? I don't know. Could go for an Ilya shouting, "Shiro is the strongest there is." Sorry guys, looks like my TV broke.
体も意識も無感動に崩れていく。
Oh, it looks like he turned into that radiation man from Batman Beyond.
何のためにここにいるのか。何のためにこうなったのか。何のために戦うのか。
Time to hit the dance club. To be fair, this was like 2 episodes worth of fighting in Unlimited Blade Works.
ついてこれるか。
Sounds like a song I once heard for Blood Plus or something. Music video, I mean.
じゃねえ。てめえの方こそ。
I them having any sort of feud doesn't really make sense in this one, I don't think. I do appreciate that they kept the arms super tanned. Because that's one of my notes before we got into this.
Torres, on.
I guess they did say that the arm came with knowledge. Because otherwise I'd be wondering how the hell did he even know? I guess that was Heracles having killed his own family.
トリガーオフ。ナインライグスブレイドワークス。
Half expected him to say the whole "I am the bone of my sword" thing. I guess, controlled berserker only has one life. Or I guess maybe the implication... Oh, we could fucking talk. I guess the implication that if they have a strong enough connection that they can overcome the possession. Which I guess implies that Shiro and Saber don't have a strong enough connection.
Shiro.
Saber.
Speak of the devil.
どうですか？心臓をわしづかみにされた感想は。神父さん、あなたは10年前に死んだ。
Technically
それ
true.
でも生きてこられたのは、この前食べたあの金色の人が聖杯の中身を浴びて。 けどあの人はお世話できないから。
I was confused what she's talking about.
あなたに流れていったですよね。
変わったな、マトサクラ。
ええ、変わりました。私は
So it corrupts all the ground she walks
今まで
on.
のマトサクラじゃない。あんな弱い子はもういないの。
隠す必要はないぞ。
何をですか？
お前は別人格などではない。暴力に酔う今のお前もまたマトサクラだ。
あなたが私をこうしたくせに。
I mean, the open eyes thing that she just did is like, yeah, that's still her.
私はお前を生かした。その期待に応え。 お前は見事アベンジャーを誕生させようとしている。難なくとな。
難なくなんかじゃない。私がどれだけ苦しかったのか知りもしないで。
知らんし、知る必要もない。
That one arc from One Piece. Those of you that know. Also, no smoother way to win an argument than by just killing the guy. Huh. Okay. So having the people that you possess come back into you is a way to hurt
幸
her.
運ですね。さくらが私を呼んでいる。いいえ、運ではなく、自ら勝ち取った結果でしたか。
I mean, she's very clearly still in there. She just doesn't have the same connection, I guess, Berserker had to Ilya. I mean, clearly, that was like almost a fatherly. Saber has never been, like, that connected. And certainly not in this version.
大丈夫だから帰ろう。
Also, what do you mean, let's go home? I assume this is just him paying for using the arm. Being in the reality pearl area. What do you fucking went home? I don't get it. You didn't make the trek out to the castle. I guess maybe you just did this to save Ilya. I don't know. What are you going for? Bengay? Advil? Tylenol? What's going to be in the drawer? The gem that Rin used to heal you? Is that our indication in this series that he was Archer? Or he becomes Archer?
お目覚めかしら、シロ？
遠坂、大丈夫なのか？
そりゃあなたに比べればね。まあ無事でよかったわ。
Hey, I just mentioned One Piece.
ああ、これは。
Again, as I said, this series version of the indication that he becomes Archer.
あれ、今俺なんて言った？
Although I guess it could be saying in this one that it's Archer himself saying it through the arm.
それじゃあ支度をして出かけるわよ。
I would hate if him and Rin still wind up together in this one after the whole setup of the Sakura stuff.
戦争に関わった最後のマスターにただ事実だけを口にします。これから話すことは私たちの確信。でもあなたたちが背負うべきものでもない。
Also, you're not the last masters because you don't have seals left, because you don't have servants left.
7人の英霊を召喚して聖杯の所有権を定める殺し合い。でもそれは表向きの決まり事。そう、マスターはサーバントをこの世に呼び出すきっかけに過ぎない。
To sacrifice to the Grail, to fill the Grail with energy, to...
英霊だけ。その魂がハインツベルンの用意する聖杯に回収され、大聖杯を起動するための炉心になるの。
大聖杯？
遠坂の管理地を使った魔法陣よ。それが聖杯戦争のシステムを管理している。事の起こりは300年前。ハインツベルンとマキリ、遠坂の御三家は聖杯の力を持って外界に出ようとした。それが本当の目的。
The root.
ハインツベルンから失われたとされる神秘、真の不老不死を実現させる大儀礼。天の杯、ヘブンズフィール。
Oh,
魂を物
she
質
said
化
the
する
thing.
方法。
Well, now that Zokin's dead.
素人凛にも関係のある話を。
さくらのことだな。 聞かせてくれ。さくらに
I
何
mean,
が起こってる
Zoki's
んだ。
not getting the immortality is what I meant.
桜を変貌させ条件が手に入れようとしているもの、そいつがアベンジャー、聖杯戦争における第8のクラス、
Which I do have on a different board. I didn't include it on this board because it didn't seem like it was part of it.
アンリマユ。
The name of the Grail.
ある村落での話。
Zoroastrian village, that's on the nose.
人間すべてが悪性から解き放たれ、清く正しく生きられないか考えていた。そこで彼らはたった一人の青年を選び出し、彼にこの世すべての罪悪を。
Oh, this is that short. There's a fucking short story that's exactly like this.
人間の全性を証明しようとした。
It's a city of paradise, essentially, because they put all the evil on a small child. And it's it's a thought process of, would you live in such a place? And it's told from the perspective of the people that leave such place because they could not live in such a place.
けどそれは弱かった。 序盤で敗れ、アンリマユは聖杯に取り込まれた。
Okay, well, I guess that explains that.
聖杯は一つの願いを受諾してしまった。人々がただ悪であれと願って生んだ存在。
Which goes counter the element that they said that they've never granted a wish before.
この世すべての悪を体現し、 60億の人間すべてを呪うことのできる存在。それがあの影の本体。キリツグは前回聖杯を破壊した。アンリマユはキリツグの英断で出産には至らず。
Man, it kind of seemed like they did get born. I mean, from the element of Unlimited Blade Works, we saw it go to Ilya. That didn't seem to happen in this one.
人工的な聖杯となったのが桜よ。アンリマユが何であれ、サーバントであることに変わりはない。だから。
Also slightly confusing that they keep referring to it as in he when it took the form of Irisvale last time I saw it.
マスターとサーバント。
時間はあと半日あるかどうか。あれが誕生してしまえば、桜は完全に変わり。
So the whole just wait till the war is over thing was also a lie. You know, from the last movie.
本拠地に乗り込む前にシローにやってほしいことがあるの。正直、シローがイリアを連れ戻してくれて助かった。
Because she's a better mage than anybody else.
アインツベルンの記憶とこの霊脈に流れる土地の記憶、その2つを使って宝石剣を投影してほしいの。
宝石剣？
東坂の系譜に伝わる秘宝中の秘宝よ。
I don't know if that's something that came up in the other show.
桜と戦うための武器。
わかった。
宝石剣に似せたアゾット剣よ。私の10年分の魔力をつぎ込んでやる。
Isn't that the one that Kirei gave her at the end of Fate Zero? Which is technically also the one that her father gave Kirei?
正直なところ、どのくらい持つの？
自分でもわからない。けど、生きているうちはなんとかするさ。
I mean, if our sponsor is correct and he's no longer regenerating, then that's a deficit that he has from Unlimited Blade Works, Shiro.
雑念を捨てて余計なものは見ないで。
Literally told him, don't look at anything you don't have to look at. Instantly looking at everything he doesn't have to look at.
Shinji?
You have to say, that's not Shinji, that is some vampire. I'm guessing that's an Einsburn settling somewhere. Or it's the three families meeting for the first time. Shinji would be the, Mikiri. The white cloak person would have to be the Einsburn. And then the other guy would just be the Tosaka.
やっと到着ね。シロ、彼から目を離さないで。
その理念を信じよう。根源に至るべく、当作、アインツベルン、マキリの三者は互いに協力し、
It's always weird to me that the Mikiri started their names to the Mataus.
それぞれの提供するものを。当作は
Also funny to me that Tosaka's just got in here as landowners.
見栄となるサーバントを縛るための霊樹を提供する。
アインツベルンは第三魔法に届くための陣を提供する。
うん。立ち会いは騎手はゼルレッチシュバイン。
Oh, well, there you go. That's the name I said I didn't know in my notes.
始めるがいい。
And to be fair, they even mentioned how useless his treasure chest or some fuck would be. And here they are, kind of literally raiding it. So the third circles would be made from her sacrifice. Yeah. What was the Tosaka ancestor and the Einsburn ancestor infatuated with one another? Or he was infatuated with her, I guess. Oh, it kind of looks like, write the name of the fucking tree. Oh, it looks like a massive trace. Oh, right, because he has the ability to copy anything he sees. Even though I guess that's coming from the arm, and not his own inherent ability, like Unlimited Blade Works version him has. Remember that Sakura still does have one command seal, so at any point, Ryder could betray them all because Sakura uses a command seal. I think your last command probably overrides this.
俺を殺しに来たのか。
シロ、さくらは触媒も何もなしに私を召喚しました。そうした場合、サーバントはマスターとあり方が近しいものが選ばれます。
Which is what I argued with you guys before in the comment section when you said you can't summon without a catalyst.
怪物にはしたくなかった。ですが、もう。 I
guess technically that she's Medusa, then she wasn't a Gorgon at birth, but she was transformed into a Gorgon by Athena? So her wish not to be a monster makes sense.
それはいつぞやの質問の答えということですか？
そのために倒さなくちゃいけない相手がいる。あんたの力を貸してくれ。
Again, to think that an unlimited blade works, Ryder dies like near the beginning,
承知しました。
and here she's like a main fucking character. Legitimately, like the last uncorrupted servant.
一時ではありますが、あなたの翼となり、果てまでもかけることを約束しましょう。
It's crazy. I just think it's crazy. What, did he create the gem sword just to give to Rin?
戻ってくる気になったのかと思ったら、影を飛ばしてくるなんて偉くなったものね、さくら。
姉さん、先輩を連れて逃げてください。そうしてくれたら私はこの子と差し違います。
さくら、一応聞いておくけど、アンリマユと手を切るつもりはある？
ありません。せっかく手に入れた力だもの。私は離れる気はないし。
I mean, I can't blame her. She's like the character from Chronicle, right? Abused child, suddenly massive power.
そうです。だから
それ、いつ我慢できなくなるかわからないの間違いでしょ。気づいてる？あなた、さっきから言動がめちゃくちゃよ。差し違えるって言った矢先に手を切るつもりはないだなんて。慌てなくてもすぐに会いに行ってあげる。言って。
I mean, I think I would certainly turn the light on, considering that she can do anything through shadow.
ええ、お待ちしています、姉さん。
Oh, I guess she had the light on, but the shadow turned the light off.
よく戻ったな、アサシン。
魔術師殿、健在か？
おうとも。しかし今のわしでは。
Well, this is disappointing. I didn't assume that Assassin was gone, but Zokin is still here? Again, fucking disappointing.
さくら。
魔術師殿、この女、もはや。
ああ、幕引きはあっけなかったの。
では予定通りこの娘を。
人聞きの悪い、あくまで仕方なくじゃ。さらばだ、さくら。実験作の身でよくぞ耐え抜き、よくぞわしを楽しませた。
その必要はありません。
The shadows can certainly destroy an area of effect, so she could take out Zokin easy. Yeah, he stood no chance. He could always have been corrupted anyway.
なんだ、もともと顔がない人だったんですね。あなたは何者でもない。ただ一人の本物になどなれないわ。
私の
Again, I'm just assuming she corrupted him and he's now in the gang.
だってもう、おじい様は彼に守ってもらう必要はないでしょ。
Oh, he was in there.
私にとってこんなにも大きい存在で、私を自由にできるのか。よく確かめていたんです。
Oh. Yeah, that's right. He's made up of bugs. Why wouldn't he be like the crest worms?
おじいさまってもっと大きいんだと思ってました。
待て、さくら。
さようなら、おじいさま。
Eh. Less disappointing now. I was happy Zoken was dead. Now I'm happy he's dead again.
おじいさまもいなくなった。これで私はどうすればいいの？
まだです。
Also, Nissan's not gone,
まだ
so...
彼らがいます。彼らが来ます。
Not so pleased that Saber seems to be directing the action.
姉さんだけはここへ通して。
エミやシローは
Kill? Give him the kill order? I mean, insanity is certainly one of the hardest things to fight. It's like when the character's personality suddenly changes and you got to get into a dispute with the character who's suddenly different from what they were before. Insanity is just like the hardest turn from that.
こんなに俺はさくらが大切だったんだ。
And again, I don't think Sakura is actually insane. I think she's just being torn from multiple directions.
行くのね。リン、ライダー、シロ。
イリア、この戦いが終わった後、もし帰るところがないんなら、このままうちで暮らさないか。
切り継ぐの代わりに。
いや、俺と切り継ぐは別の。
Yeah, technically I'm kind of your older brother.
けど、俺は
not your dad.
シロ、しゃがんで。いってらっしゃい、シロ。
Actually, I'm assuming
さくらを連れて帰ってきてね。
I'm assuming he's the older brother because he seems it, but we met Ilya first, so I don't know if she's actually older and just shorter. I was gonna say I don't know that Sakura is. Oh, I did say it. Never mind. Sorry.
上の池で何らかの場が作られている気配がしますが。
あっちの場は表向きのもんよ。大聖杯に行こうって言うんなら。上じゃなくて下へ行かないとね。
下へ。
Also, just occurred to me this is the second series in which Gilgamesh gets consumed, I guess technically, by the Grail. I'm assuming Sakura with the evil of Zoroastrianism. Sorry, I forgot the name already. Can be considered the Grail.
Saber.
Again, the element that Rin, you can go. My fight with the Shiro. Again, the element that Berserker was able to overcome himself. But Saber's gun-ho about fighting this one.
さくらを助けたいって言うんなら遅くならないようにね。
As always, it's a cool-ass pose.
セイバー、どうあっても引かないんだな。
くどい。それが私の役割だ。全力でかかれば2分は拮抗できるでしょう。状況は私が作ります。
I mean, legitimately, we were just told in Fate's Day Night that Ryder was no match for Saber. And this is a powered-up version of Saber, too.
セイバー、ここでお前を消滅させる。さくらを助けるために。お前は邪魔だ。
I'm surprised she hasn't stabbed herself in the neck to do her Noble Phantasm like she did in Fate's Day Night. They're so friendly, even though they fucking kill you one touch. Then again, I guess they're like the mirrors towards the happy creatures in Sakura's dream. Definitely got a cool sound effect for it.
考えてたんです。私、この世界が嫌いなんです。家も、姉さんも、おじいさまも、かわいそうな兄さんや、平穏に過ごす街並み。
Dude, very killed a number of those people already.
これが八つ当たりだって悪いことだって分かってます。でも私は
Again, grandfather deserved it, brother deserved it.
何だってできるようになったんです。
そう。人殺しにはもう慣れた？
ええ。アサシンもおじいさまももういません。
Also, assassin deserved it.
あいつは今でもあんたを助けられると信じてる。
私が殺してしまいたいのはあの人だけ。
そう。とっくに人間やめてたのね。
強がりですね。 この力が羨ましいんでしょ。だから取り上げてまた自分だけ幸せになる気なんだ。渡さない。
Again, I'm not super happy that we left Ilya behind. I know why we left Ilya behind. But again, she doesn't get to show off her power set. She's really getting sidelined in all the shows.
湖に落ちた虫みたいに天の杯に溺れなさい。
It's good fight music, I gotta give it that. There's no world where I can see that Ryder would be able to outlast Saber more than Berserker would have been able to. It's a good combo. Freeze ability or slow ability with speed ability.
Ryder, 聞きたいことがある。セイバーはやっぱりサーバントじゃないと傷つけられないのか。
いいえ、桜に囚われたサーバントは受肉しています。強力な霊装ならばおそらく。
もう一つ、戦う時の作戦なんだが。
確かにその方法なら突破できる。
だろ?
Of course, why let us in on it?
お互いの信頼ですね。白。
I mean, I get it. They're going for the show, don't tell.
あなたは味方の危機でも動かないことができますか？あなたが一番苦手なことを要求します。
Sorry, that when he unwrapped, I was like, ah! That's me most of the time I'm not on camera. If there's any weird cuts, it's because I suddenly went that way myself.
Shiroが気になりますか？動きませんよ。私は信頼されていますので。ああ、あなたは確か卵と
I think I've mentioned it in just about every anime reaction I've ever done. I love the inclusion of guitar. The guitar in the opening of Magic Knight Rayearth is probably why I watched that show. You know, I think it might be the element that Saber has not a catchphrase, but a one-liner that probably makes her stronger in battle than anybody who doesn't have one. Her saying Excalibur is more badass than Ryder having nothing to say.
I am the bone of my soul.
See, why would he say that without any of the context?
No.
Yeah, it's like Roias block Excalibur. A fully powered Excalibur at that. Well, there we go. The thing from the dream. Me and Lessons literally just saw that in our most recent Fate Stay Night reaction. Unfortunately, I think it's also where Ryder dies there. I do like the difference between the different shows is the weight of each character. Ryder gets like nothing in Unlimited Blade Works. A little bit more in Fate Stay Night. And here she's just like everything. Very surprised they actually went through with it. I thought he would like stop in midair and then she would have like a conversation. Fair enough. All of this sets me up for not knowing what the fuck is going to happen in Fate Stay Night with me and Lessons. Yeah, to be fair though, he's on the front lines too. Looks like the Super Blast from Super Metroid. The end of the game, Super Metroid power. I don't know how I don't know how integral those little dudes, or bigger dudes as they were now, are to Sakura's power set.
それに何かわからないの、さくら。これは遠坂に伝わる宝石剣ゼルレッジ。無限に連なるとされる平行世界に道をつなげ、魔力を流す。
Kind of feels like Ia at that stage. Also, not really passed down if you kind of had to steal it by a recreation through Shiro.
ゼルレッジの名前も知らないの。
バカにして。
どんなに貯蔵があってもね、さくらの一度の魔力放出量は私とさして変わらない。だから私が用意するのは毎回その程度の魔
Yeah,
力。
except that we know that you don't have infinite mana. But it seems like Sakura kinda does.
持っていても宝の持ち腐れよ。
ずるい。ずるい。ずるいよ。
Yeah, hitting her with a bunch of tiny shit seems like the way to go. But then again, Unlimited Blade Works, we saw that she trains in self-defense.
舞い上がっていた頭も少しは冷めた？
こんなの不公平です。どうしてですか？同じ姉妹なのにずっと前から人間扱いされてこなかった。バキルの魔術を体に刻まれて、食事にも毒を盛られて、食べることは怖くて痛いことでしかなくて、牛蔵ではただ息を吸うことさえ許しが必要で、私が泣くたびにあの人たちは喜んで私の体をいじり続けた。
Again, this is the most sympathetic part, is Sakura's fucking backstory.
苦労なんて知らずに育って憎らしかった。勝ちたかった。一度くらい姉さんにすごいって褒めてほしかった。私は本当は遠坂の子だからお姉さんが助けに来てくれるんだって。
I don't know, you called the guy who tried to save you a fool. I remember that specifically.
11年ですよ。狂ってますよね。でもこれって私のせいですか？毎日痛くて痛くて痛くて痛くて、好きでこうなったんじゃない。こうなるしかなかったのに。
だからどうしたっていうの？
Ouch. Ouch, that response.
だって今は痛くないんでしょ、あなた。
姉さんがそんなだから。
I mean, I get it.
あんまり他人の痛みがわからないの。
Your life was a living hell, but it's not now, and you're doing these things now.
理解しようとも思わない。けどさくら、そんな無神経な人間でもね、私は自分が恵まれているなんて一度も思えたことはなかったわ。
よくもそんなこと。
さくら、
Yeah, this is like all designed to rile her up and get her off on the back foot. Yeah, I mean, in Fate Zero, we saw them as sisters before the handoff. Really does make her dad look that much more of an asshole, as he saw this all as a good thing. So pair of 9s, queen high. Full house.
あ、ダメだこれ。バカだ、私。でも、頑張ったやつには報酬がないと我慢ならないし、さくらのことが好きだし、いつも笑っていてほしかったし。私が辛ければ辛いほど、あんたは楽できてるんだって。
Well, she gets stabbed through by the wiggly thing.
シローのことは言えないな、私も。間近でさくらのこと見たら殺せないって分かっちゃった。ごめんね、勝手な姉貴で。それとこのリボンずっとつけていてくれて嬉しかった。
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna be a good ending for anybody. As much as I want Sakura to have a happy ending of some sort, I don't think it's coming from Heaven's Feel.
私も持ってたのに、私が壊しちゃった。
Again, I think she's gonna go more crazy. Yeah, Rin's dead. Assuming he's not carrying the locket, and she doesn't have a second locket on her. Of course, this could also just be a trick, too.
遠坂のやつ勝ったんだな。さくら、遠坂は死んでない。まだ助かる。俺とお前で助けるんだ。
The locket still has some magic in it? Or are we counting on a wish?
私。
分かってる。往生際が悪いガキの仕業だ。
Ryder could still show up. I don't know if they were implying that Ryder was dead too, but seemed like she wasn't. And she could show up again for one final attack. Problem is, I don't know how this ends without her dying. Even if you save her, I don't know. The problem is redemption at that point, because she's killed so many.
Sakura.
Sure, just that one fucking lash to stab you in the chest. Why not? Again, I know it's not Sakura doing it. It's the thing.
いっぱい人を殺しました。
Now that's true. That is a... Don't give a shit about those two.
そして姉さんも。それでも
Again, don't give a shit about those.
そうだ。当然だろう。奪ったからには責任を果たせ。
I would have to think that the people we care about is like the random, what, 60, 100 people that vanished the one night?
Sumiの所在も罰の重さも俺にはわからない。けど守る。これから桜に問われるすべてのことから。
I was hoping he was going to go with a, but you're going to live to see it.
偽善でも好きな相手を守り通す。トレース。オン。お仕置きだ。
Rule breaker. Alright, I guess you were right. I guess you were right, Fenrir. Or Zope, sorry, I can't remember who the fuck said it. I guess you can copy Rule Breaker. Even though I swear in a different comment response we talked about not being able to do so. Actually, it might have been that whole Gilgamesh can't have a copy of Rule Breaker. And I guess this is why Zope brought this up. Of course, why not stab her in the middle of her breasts? Why not? Severing her connection with the Grail. And making her naked for no good reason. Really brought in the sci-fi sound effects. So Gilgamesh could not have a copy of Rule Breaker, but Archer could make a copy of it if he desired. Really pushing our way down the line of Gilgamesh isn't really as strong as you'd think he is. Thanks, little dude. What did I say?
あんたか。助かった。桜と下にいる遠坂を連れて外へ出られるか。
Oh, is now Ryder going to be suddenly become an enemy?
承知しました。
頼む。 あとこれをさくらに。
それはあなた自身で。
What are we saying? This is deadly?
いいえ。
I guess if he doesn't have the regeneration anymore, then yeah, this is probably deadly. Looking like Beetlejuice had a Beetlejuice. Are we implying that he's going to die taking out the Greater Grail? That Kirei? Kirei make it all the way fucking here?
綺麗。
ああ、お互いかろうじて生き延びているようだな。
How the hell did you sneak past Sakura? Or were you corrupted by her and then just summoned out here?
お前の願いは叶わない。
叶うとも。私の目的はただ一つ。この呪いを誕生させることのみだ。
I thought his wish was going to be the same as Gilgamesh's, which would be to curse everybody.
これは悪そのものだ。
まだ悪ではない。善でもない。人間はゼロから何が正しいのかを学ぶ。始まりは
I've been training for the last 10 years. Also, I get that. It starts at 0. Fate 0.
事実しかない。
So he does have the corruption on him.
責任があるとしたら、それはその人間を育んだ環境と、その中での自己だけだ。帰りたがっている命ならば、羽化させてやるのが愛だ。何が愛だ?
Love my ass. That's gotta be the quote of Heavensfield.
お前が他人の幸福に至福を感じるように、私は他人の不幸に至福を感じるだけだ。
Did not expect this to end up in just a straight up brawl. Yeah, I guess he's got the benefit of the claws. Or spikes, or whatever you want to say. Surprised he didn't just keep the fucking claws for all those years.
そもそも人を殺すことが悪だと麻藤さくらを守ろうというお前が人間とはそういうものだ。
Miserable pile of secrets.
見せる善意、聖人が気まぐれに犯す悪行、この矛盾こそが人たらしめる。生きるということは
Let's have to break out into a Rolling Stones song. Sympathy for the devil.
だけどこいつは初めから殺すためだけのものだ。
そうだ。だが本人がそれをどう思うかはまだわからない。自らを悪と嘆くか、良しとするか、そのように望まれた者が自らの機能に疑いを持たぬのであれば悪ではない。
I don't know, it's a pretty hard argument for Kirei. Especially since we know what Kirei's whole deal is.
そしてただ一人残った者が果たして自身を許せるのか。
And there's a reason why Kirei worked so well with Gilgamesh.
それが知りたい。
そんなことのためにお前は
そうだ。それが私の目的だ。
I mean, it's a hell of a lot more fight Kirei got than in Unlimited Blade Works, where he just like fucking died in an instant. I'm not talking about the caster fight, I'm talking about the Lancer fight. It is funny because it's 4 eyes, basically inward looking. Incarnations of immortality. That is the state of God, and why God's not doing anything in the world.
そうか。俺たちは共に自身を罪人と思い、それを振り払うために。
Again, Rolling Stones, Sympathy for the Devil. The other arm is definitely bigger.
そりゃ。
告白すれば八つ当たりでもある。私はお前たちを羨んでいる。
そうか。無駄な時間を使わせたな。
構わん。時間がないのはお互い様だ。
Still fucking alive, Zoken? God damn it. Look, I totally understand his search for immortality. I just don't fucking enjoy anything he's fucking done. Plus, I just want him to fucking die. Oh, wow. Did not expect the ancestor to be there. Also, the Einsburn ancestor, not the Yurkai ancestor.
悪を切り離せないのなら理想郷がそも人間では到達できない地点であるのなら
人間を超えるもの新しい人の形を求める
そうこの世すべての悪の排斥のため我らはこの願いに命を賭そう
Which is weird, because the Ironsburns did go all homunculi about this.
500年余り思えば瞬きほどの宿願であった。いや、あと一歩だったのだがな。
Yeah, but you lost a long time ago. Well, I mean, not a long time ago in the span of 500 years, but I mean a long time ago in the span of, like, Sakura's lifetime.
単純に時間の差が出るとはな。お前が最後のマスターだ。その責務を。
Oh, right. I guess that makes sense. I thought there was no masters left. Well, wait. What do you mean by timing? Oh, because he ripped his heart out and did the whole thing. I was saying, because Kirei was a master, too. So Zoken dying shouldn't have left Shiro as the final master regardless. Although technically Sakura is also a master, isn't she? And she's still alive, isn't she? Or did I just, like, completely forget something? Sorry, I've been dealing with, again, the TMJ and all the other fucking illness shit. So I apologize if I've just forgotten that Sakura was dealt with or not. She wasn't dealt with. She was just removed from her connection to that thing. Or did Rulebreaker remove her connection to Ryder as well? And that Ryder's just helping her out of her own free will? Ilya is still a master. I am confused as to why you are here. Rin is still a master. The fact that they don't have servants doesn't matter because he doesn't have a servant. I just don't understand what she's doing here. She's both dead. I mean, there's no both. She's dead. Okay, One Piece. I guess it's just something I don't understand about this. How did she achieve true magic? Getting crushed and sacrificed actually made her reach the root? Wait, is that Ilya dressed up as that person? Okay, I did get that relationship backwards. Alright, well, never mind. I had it all fucking wrong. I didn't recognize that was Ilya dressed up as... Well, fuck it. I guess I can't have a good Ilya ending either. What are the two things I said I want? Ilya to win, not fucking happening. And a good Sakura ending, not fucking happening. My problem is I don't think that's her. Unlimited Blade Works already showed that, again, whatever evil Zoroastrian god name can take the form of Iris Veil. So it's a happy moment there. Do not believe it. A little bit of magic left. I mean, Archer's a servant. I can assume he could reach back through whatever, even if he's already lost. And yeah, unless Rulebreaker separated Ryder from Sakura, she's technically the final master. Cicadas. We got cicadas around here. It's not a Japanese-only noise.
すがは次期部長。安心して引退できるってもんですね。
Okay, so I guess at the end of the year, Sakura is becoming captain of the archery team, and whatever her name is,
になったら帰ってくるのかな。
stepping down like the guy at the very beginning did, who I also didn't know the name of because I've never seen him before, because it was a year before.
この地に起きた聖杯戦争は終わった。
Again, not a good ending though, because again, all those people in the town that fucking
全て
vanished.
に幕を下ろしたのだ。
Vanished.
その後始末で魔術協会との対応に奔走しつつ、桜の回復を待った。そうして今、私は桜と歩いている。11年という時を取り戻すように。 動き出した時間を桜と共に歩く。そう。それはあいつのいない時間。エミやシローの体は消え去ってしまったのだから。
I don't know about that. I mean, unless he became a servant in that moment, in which case I guess that could be the thing.
Sakura. リンが帰ってきました。
So Ryder just stuck around. Okay. I guess she kind of took the Gilgamesh position over. Which is, Gilgamesh stuck around after.
はい。少しずつですけど、いろいろなことを素直に受け止められるようになりました。罪の意識で潰されるのは逃げなんだって。
Again, yeah, you're guilty of a lot of shit.
変わったもの、変わらなければならないもの。何をもって変わったと言えるのか。
I guess the implication is that she got the crest worms out of her, so she's not slowly dying over time anymore.
でも
Odajub. Don't know if that's supposed to be... Same way as the Unlimited Blade Works ending, where we met that one girl in training. I don't know if that was supposed to be a guy. It's a puppet of some sort.
世界の中で変わらないでいてくれたものが。
And that's Taiga's appetite. Did they make a puppet out of him? I'm very confused about the store and what we're doing right now. Or is she like dreaming that he's still here?
ほら、行きましょう。
まったく、はしゃいじゃって。
ね。
I mean, this is certainly the happiest ending Ryder is getting.
桜、幸せ？
Yeah, I think they animated a puppet. That's my best guess, what's happened there. I think go see the sakura flowers or whatever. again, I can see the argument being made here that this is the worst ending, but it's not the worst ending. Like, I don't know how to say this. No, yeah, sakura flowers. Spring. It must be spring. Literally where the preview from last time ended. Just with Sakura now in the scene. Hey, Issei, you are around. And all the other characters, whose names I definitely know and have on a board somewhere. Again, very confused by him being here after the impetus of him being missing. Especially after that store scene where we saw a puppet in a glowing cage. Anyway, what I was saying a moment ago. Again, not the happiest ending. Again, a large number of people went missing because she fucking ate them. So I gotta assume that, like, those people didn't come back. You know? They didn't make puppets out of them, right? So Gilgamesh dying, who fucking cares, right? Happens in Unlimited Blade Works, happens here. Kirei dying, again, who the fuck cares? Shinji dying, good. Zoken dying, good. I mean, it didn't happen in Unlimited Blade Works because that storyline just doesn't fucking happen there. But it's a good thing. I'm not gonna complain. Who else? Who am I forgetting? Let me just double check my board real quick. Caster and, Kazuki. I'm sad about that one. Only from the element that their, romance didn't even get a chance to flourish here. And Caster being reanimated by Zoken's bugs, horrible. But ultimately, they're gonna die. Happens in Unlimited Blade Works, I'm assuming it's going to happen in Fate Stay Night. Taiga is alive, so that's good. I mean, technically she's not dead in Unlimited Blade Works either, but I'm always happy when she gets time to shine. I guess Issei doesn't get that much to suffer about, and he's alive at the very end, so I guess he has a better time here than he did in Unlimited Blade Works. Lancer dies in both, so that's not different. Saber's dead. I guess that's a bad ending if you care about Saber. I guess that's the real difference. Berserker's dead. He's dead in both anyway. Hassan's dead. I didn't give a shit about him. Archer's dead. He's dead in both. And Ryder gets to live. I guess the difference herein is if you care more about Ryder or if you care more about Saber. Because, you know, Ryder didn't get that much time to shine in Unlimited Blade Works. And here, she's here throughout. And gets to live afterwards. And I guess that was the element that threw me in Unlimited Blade Works in the sunny day thing, where Saber is just fucking there at the end. So I guess Saber gets to live and live on in Unlimited Blade Works, and Ryder gets to live and live on in Heavensfield. And not for nothing, Sakura doesn't even show up in the end stuff. You know, the sunny day and the other final epilogue thing for Unlimited Blade Works. Sakura didn't even show up there, which I guess means, I don't know. I don't even know what that fucking means. At least she's here. So I guess your meta on is this the good ending or the worst ending or whatever heavily rides on how much do you care about Saber. Because ultimately, again, the element isn't great that all those people died, but the same majority of people live at the end of Heaven's Feel that are alive at the end of Unlimited Blade Works. And again, the same number at the very least, because, you just interchange some people. And I guess depending on what the fuck is going on with Shiro. Because again, Shiro, in my opinion, again, not having played the game, not having read any manga or light novels or whatever the hell is out there, Shiro died, they animated a puppet that looks like him, and he's living Shiro's life now. That's my understanding. I've got no fucking idea based on what happened there. And I now am remembering that we have a Fenrir comment to read soon enough after I'm done blabbing my thoughts out. I will say, I understand that a lot of you had problems with the movie series, and that's because you have the knowledge of the games. I don't have that knowledge. I will say 75% of this I really enjoyed. This is really good. The other 25% is basically Kirei. Like, there's some slow moments, and there's some moments where we focus on the fights where I feel like we could focus on other stuff. But the Kirei blabbing stuff here at the very end, that's the parts I didn't really like here, because it went into the Gundam Wing problem of, hey, we're in the middle of a Gundam fight, but we're also going to start blabbing out philosophy, in apropos of nothing. I understand that philosophy is a really important part of the Fate series at all, but at the same time, I didn't really follow what the fuck Kirei was talking about. And at the end of the day, he did just fucking pass out and die because he was on a time span or something, or whatever. It didn't mean much to me. Versus, the psychological drama that is Sakura's life, her relationship with Rin, her desire to be with Shiro, her want to live versus her desire to make recompense for what she's done. All of that infinitely more valuable to me storyline-wise than whatever the fuck was going on with Kirei. I guess that's why I value Gilgamesh more than I do Kirei, because Gilgamesh has a very clear goal in mind, and he's not... When he, blabs about it, it's always humankind is flawed, and we just need to get rid of most of the people. It's very easy to understand. Kirei is blabbermouth philosophy, and it's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, no, I enjoyed the majority of this, even if the ending was a bit of a mix mash. I don't know, a little bit confusing. I wish there was an end credits thing, just to, go a little bit longer with. But I guess that was the point of showing us Sakura with the cherry blossoms and everything. Essentially leaning back onto movie 2, what do you want to do after all of this? I mean, essentially what this movie is named for. So yeah, ultimately, I like it. I would say at the moment, I have recency bias, so I can't really say where I would rank this versus Unlimited Blade Works. Because again, Unlimited Blade Works is 25 episodes plus 2 specials, plus that 9-minute extra thing. Whereas this is just 3 movies. And I'd say it's harder for me to sit through a 2-hour movie than it would be, say, 4 episodes watched as I like. I did have to take breaks during this because, again, I'm dealing with face pain and the illness and all the other shit. So, not as easy a sit through as regular episodes would be. But, again, it sticks with me because it's a much harsher reality than Unlimited Blade Works felt like. Although, again, there's elements from Unlimited Blade Works that I'm always going to remember. I even referenced 2 lessons during the last Fate's Day Night reaction. Berserker is the strongest there is! I'm always going to remember that fatherly relationship Ilya had with Berserker. Still thrown by the end of this, where Ilya shows up in costume, and I just didn't recognize her. I thought it was the person from the past, because that's the person we saw in the movie. Anyway. Let's go ahead and get to that Fenrir comment before I end up forgetting. And I'm also running out of steam here because I am just constantly feeling bad. So, Fenrir, 756. Comment for after the 3rd movie. I don't like the final fight between Shiro and Kirei because it messes up a key element from the visual novel. The visual novel makes it clear that if Kodamin hits Shiro directly on the head, he will almost certainly die, as the damage will result in a sword forming in his brain and killing him. He spends most of his most of fight focusing on protecting his head, but in the movie, Kirei lands several punches on his head with no real consequences. I guess I missed out on that. I guess that explains why he's covered in all those things, and how every time Kirei hits him, he gets stabbed by a thing, because it's, I guess, implied to be forming where he hits. About why the swords spawn at all, Unlimited Blade Works has a side effect of healing Shiro by changing his bones and muscles to blades to heal injuries. Unlimited Blade Works takes Avalon's regeneration properties and heals him using that method. That is why in Fate Stay Night on episode 11, Ryder's weapon couldn't pierce Shiro's bone, because it had already been strengthened by Unlimited Blade Works. I don't remember what I said, but I had my own theory in that episode. The fact that Archer's was a future Shiro meant his Unlimited Blade Work had progressed further than Shiro's, and since using the arm damages Shiro's body, its Unlimited Blade Works overcompensates trying to heal Shiro and creates the swords. I don't know if this thought might occur to you, but it would have been a bad idea for Shiro to use Rule Breaker on Saber to try and free her. In the visual novel, if you do that, she curses you, goes and helps Sakura against Rin, and Sakura absorbs Rin, but keeps her mind intact and forces her to experience what Sakura went through. Then Shiro gets absorbed. It didn't occur to me at all because I haven't had that much time to think about it. It was just more about the element that I kept focusing on. The Gilgamesh couldn't have Rule Breaker, because that was a conversation that we had, and that Shiro could copy Rule Breaker. Which, again, at this point, just means that at any point, at any of these fights, Shiro could have been using Rule Breaker to do whatever the fuck, right? So, at this point, it would have been me going down a long list of, hey, what would have happened if Shiro used Rule Breaker in X situation? I don't know if you'll notice this, but Sakura only absorbs those servants the shadow directly consumed, which is why it had to make physical contact with those servants. Archer was absorbed by Ilya, since the shadow never got him, and only servants that are still alive get corrupted. I mean, yeah, that seemed obvious. I don't know if I've said anything contrary to that, but I mean, that seemed obvious. Being absorbed by the shadow is effectively the same as being covered by the Grail's mud, and it results in the curses Angra Manyu is made of, corrupting the servant. Gilgamesh is incorruptible because of his ego. In his mind as king, he bears all the world's good and evil, and it is his place to acknowledge it and bear it. If the shadow did not immediately break him down after consuming him, he would have been able to break free. I mean, I kind of just assumed he was dead. At the same time, you're just missing 2 legs, or I guess 2 knees down, because it bites one leg and it bites the other leg, and we've seen both legs just kind of absorb into the shadow. So I guess that means that there's just a Gilgamesh floating in the shadow, uncorrupted but unescaped. I mean, unless she actually... Because it seems like she got him in one bite. I don't know. My also problem is that this is actually an episode 2 note that you're including in a post-episode 3. I don't know. Now you know there are 2 Grails that are part of the Holy Grail War. The Lesser Grail, which is what Ilya and Irisvale are, and the Greater Grail, which is built into the land itself. I mean, we kind of already knew that from Unlimited Blade Works, because Gilgamesh himself references Lesser and Greater Grail, although he doesn't really cover what those are, which led me to the confusion of having Ilya and then Irisvale show up in Unlimited Blade Works, and I thought that the Irisvale appearance was just the, what's her name? His name, actually. Angra Manyu. Angra Manyu in Irisvale form. I went through all of that during Unlimited Blade Works, so... You might not realize it, but Zokin is the blue-haired man who was present at the ritual that created the Greater Grail. Also, Zelrich is the man from Fate Strange Fake in that strange area with the book and phone. Okay, well, I did not recognize that Zokin was the blue-haired man, which I guess explains his regret over what happened. I mean, to be fair, I guess the guy got old. The guy got old, and he aged more than the blue-haired guy looked like. I just assumed those were all ancestors, and that Zoken was just someone down the line from that. And I guess, spoiler on the Zelrich thing, but dude with the phone hasn't shown back up in Strange Fake in all the episodes I've seen yet. But it is coming back, so spoiler for when it came back, I guess. The red-haired woman with glasses is also an important character in other movies. Red-haired woman with glasses. Are we talking about the person I was just commenting about passing them by? In the same way that I was talking about the girl from the epilogue of Unlimited Blade Works? Just someone who's suddenly very important at the end of the story, and it's like, they must be from somewhere else. Otherwise, I don't know who you're talking about if it's not who I was referring to during the movie. In the original visual novel, Shiro was a disembodied soul until they found a puppet body he could be placed in. After Ilya uses the third magic to restore and repair his soul, he was given a tiny body until they obtained a puppet body for him. Ryder had to literally find him in the rubble. Alright, well, I guess I missed out the part about the disembodied soul. Obviously, I've been ranting about the puppet body thing for a while. In my mind, they just recreated him from, memory. I didn't realize it was actually his soul. But you know what? Your information comes from the visual novel, and again, I'm making up what I want from what I fucking saw. So, in my mind, it is still just a puppet Shiro that's not really Shiro. So, I mean, until, a third source of information, like some side show or whatever, that's still in the bunch, says it, again, it's the show's responsibility to tell me information, not outside material. A major aspect of the visual novel missing from the movies is that Shiro spends a lot of time with Ilya even before Saber disappears. He even gives her a tour of the house while Saber is around. The true ending of Heaven's Feel also depends on Shiro gaining enough Ilya affection points. I mean, fair enough. Fate Stay Night has them spending a lot of time together that they didn't get in Unlimited Blade Works, so I assume any amount of that could be happening. I'm still a bit miffed that I didn't recognize Ilya in cosplay there at the very end. I just thought that was the ancestor. But then again, fuck, all I know, the ancestor could have been Ilya. Or Ilya is a homunculus formed to look like that ancestor. Also, Ilya realizes who Archer was after Shiro gets his arm, but keeps it to herself in the visual novel. Rin realizes it after seeing Shiro with the pendant. Well, I mean, that's the same as Unlimited Blade Works, except for the Ilya thing. But, it doesn't really change anything. I'll also, going back up a couple of notes. Shiro disembodied soul, third magic, his tiny body. You said something about Ilya. After Ilya uses third magic to restore and repair his soul, that implies that Ilya is still alive after the end, because it very much seems like Ilya was dead here after the end. Unless she showed up, in just the pre-credits area, where we see everybody else meeting again, and I just fucking missed her. I do not remember her showing up at the end, so I'm assuming that Ilya is dead here. In the visual novel, when Shiro goes to rescue Ilya and she initially refuses, you are given 3 choices and all say save Ilya. Of course. As I keep saying, my preferred ending is Ilya wins, Sakura gets a good ending. But no, in all of them, Ilya dies. I mean, we haven't seen Fate Stay Night ending yet, but I'm assuming Ilya's not going to survive very long there either. However, at least Sakura is showing up. There's an opportunity for the Fate Stay Night OG show to have the ending I'm hoping for. Well, this has been the closest we've gotten so far, though. And your final note here. Fun fact, in the visual novel, if Shiro doesn't get Ryder to help him, he fights Saber and is able to beat her at the cost of his life. If you want to see it, look up Heaven's Feel Sparks Linear High. It also has an awesome song. I'm assuming that's a show. Or a short, or whatever. Only because I think I've heard that before, and I don't mean that I've seen anything. I've been watching a lot of anime trivia shows lately, and some of them have featured name as many Fate properties as you possibly can, which is one of the only reasons why I know that there is a Fate Stay Night cooking show featuring Shiro, but I don't remember who else. Other characters. I know that there's a Fate Stay Night cooking show. So there's at least a number of other spin-off properties dealing with these characters. Were I to watch them, but that's not on the path that you've put me on. Because after this, we are watching Fate Apocrypha, which, by the way, I've recently just gotten the art finished for. So we are ready to start that series next week. But yeah, I think I might be done here. I don't ultimately have a lot of thoughts going through this because I've given most of my thoughts on a movie-per-movie basis. And I don't know that I have a lot of thoughts here because this was a number of combats. I didn't really care for the Kirei scenes. I've said that a number of times. And otherwise, you know, the Sakura baiting her, then not killing her, and then ultimately saving her because of Rule Breaker. Rule Breaker seems like the most underused but overpowered thing that Shiro could have just pulled out at any point. Like, how many times has he seen Caster in all? Like, he saw Caster pretty early, and I'm pretty sure she had Rule Breaker out pretty early in that too. Unlimited Blade Burst. I don't know if I said that out loud. I don't know. The fact that Rule Breaker was the solution to most of the problems here. Like, remember at the end of movie 2, and he's standing over Sakura, just with the knife in his hand, he's crying, he's like, I can't do it. What if he had Rule Breaker? What if he just had fucking Rule Breaker? Like, he could have ended, movie 2 could have been the end. Or I guess, nearest the end. I guess there was enough time at that point, if he had stabbed her with Rule Breaker, to have then gone after Zoken and, you know, Kirei and everybody else. I don't know. There's a lot of holes to poke in this, but I really did enjoy this. These were a good 3 movies. Again, I didn't have the visual novel to anchor me down with. So, without that problem that a bunch of you had because you played the games and whatnot, no problem here. Again, for me, it was just Kirei and his babbling, which is funny because it's all I'm doing right now, babbling. I'm sure I'm gonna have more thoughts about this later, and I might like have some follow up once we start Fate Apocrypha. Some just added thoughts about, hey, we just finished the movie last week. Let me talk a little bit. Might have some more about that later. Most certainly some of you are gonna have comments about some stupid thoughts that I've had during this. So, no doubt that we're going to continue this a little bit more in the first episode of Fate Apocrypha. So, until we get to that, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you again next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?